Hey guys, Steven here with ProTech. Today we're going to talk about accessories, namely accessories regarding holsters. So you've got a gun, a Glock 19 for example, super common gun with a TLR-7 from Streamlight or a TLR-6 or a TLR-8 or a TLR-7A or TLR-8A or a TLR-1 or TLR-3 or a TLR-4 or an Olight PL Mini 2 or PL Mini 1 or a Surefire or a Lottie Dottie and everybody's light laser. So I'm going to explain the why of why we do it the way we do it. But before I explain the why, I'm going to explain the path that we've taken to get there. Okay, so you got a gun with a light on it. It's nice, bright. Woohoo, congratulations. I'm happy for you. I have guns with lights on them myself. Weapon-mounted lights are amazing. There's a place for them. Weapon-mounted lasers are cool too, and there's a place for them, especially for disadvantaged shooting positions, shooting over the top of something or under something or from a high compressed ready. They're great as well. And then you got light and laser combos, and those are even better because you got both. And then you've got optics, all kinds of different optics mounted to guns, and just the list goes on and on and on. So when we started out, it was mainly local customers 10 years ago. It was folks that I knew personally, or folks that I knew personally who were local, and they could just bring me their gun with their light on it and drop it off, and I could make their holster and give it right back to them. And then as we've grown over the years, I've done things like try to mimic accessories. Like this is for a Laser Max for a Shield 9mm. This is blocking that I built up to attach to the Shield gun mold that we have, and we've got thousands of dollars worth of gun molds. And did those for a while, and there's one for the TLR-4 and the TLR-1, and blocking, to create the channel for the light to go in and out. And there's the Crimson Trace 422G for the P365, and the TLR-6, and that one can be mounted to 100 different guns. That just says Crimson Trace weapon light, so I don't know what model that's even for. I just dug these out of the drawer. I haven't touched them in a while, some of them. There's the Olight PL Mini 2, the P32 G2. That was actually a modification to the gun mold because they don't make a G2 mold for the P32, just a Gen 1 mold. There's a Crimson Trace light that came with I think a Shield that we bought a while back for our TFO process. There you go. Light and a laser. There's one for a P365 with the Tactical Developments rail and the PL Mini 2. Here's one for a compensator that a guy had on his gun. PL Mini. The Lima 365 and Foxtrot 365. We've bought lights. This is just some of the packaging. We've got, I don't know, a few $1,000s worth of lights and lasers in inventory. So there's the TLR-7, the 6, the Olight. I've got the 1. I've got the Lima 365, the Foxtrot 365, and some others. So you get the point. So we did that for a while. We made the blockings, and the fitment wasn't always where it needed to be, and we ended up having to do some, ship it back, we'll send you a return label, ship it back, we'll rework it, send it back to you. Okay, we got it that time, good, but it cost us another $20 for them to ship it back and for us to ship it back to them, because we're not going to make the customer pay for that. So that was kind of a losing solution. And then it's like, we'll just buy all the popular ones. Well, it's a moving target, and we're a small business. Yes, we're growing, but that's not an excuse to just blow money and buy every new light that comes out on the market just so that we can make holsters for them, entirely custom holsters for them. Mind you, these are custom holsters, entirely at everyone else's convenience, while we spend sometimes $200, $300, $400 on a light and laser combo, or whatever the case may be. I mean, some companies like Surefire, for example, this is not a knock against Surefire, but their products are expensive, and if somebody orders a trigger guard from us. You know, the trigger guard is one of the products we make. It just covers the trigger and covers an accessory if you've got one, and it's got a piece of paracord attached to it, an adjustable retention, and you can tie that paracord to your bed or your center console or whatever, so that when you grab your gun, you're not going to have a negligent discharge because the trigger is covered on both sides of the gun, and you yank it off and you go to work. You know, that's like a $30 or $40 product depending on what, you know, options you choose. Why buy a $200 light for that one guy who's got that light, whether it's well, it doesn't matter what light it is, to make that one product. And additionally too, you know, and this leads me into the next one. We got to where we were buying molds with the accessory molded onto them, and I've got hundreds of dollars worth of molds with accessories, specific accessories mounted to them, and this is just some of them. And that's great, and some of those we do use for the super common guns, but that's a lot of money too. I mean, just this one mold, you're looking at close to $70 just for that one mold, and this gun has 20 different accessories that can be mounted to it. You know, what's 70 times 20? That's $1,400 worth of just molds. Times how many guns we have. We've got 150 different gun molds over there on the wall. So the solution that we have come up with, and there's more of that blocking I told you about. I'll that up over there. The solution we've come up with, which also, let me backtrack for just 1 second. These accessories, like this one for example, the PL Mini 2. This is a mold for a P365 XL with a tactical developments, or a recovery tactical P365 accessory rail mounted to the P365 XL with the Olight PL Mini light mounted to the accessory rail. Great, you know, it's a odd combination. It's taller than the trigger guard. It's difficult for holster makers, you know, to mess with. That's why it's kind of difficult to find holsters for that configuration. But the problem is, we've had customers that, because this light's adjustable, right, and this accessory rail it has multiple slots in it. So this mold company said, well, this is where we think that it ought to be, and they molded this item that way. Well, this only works if the customer carries the light in that exact slot and at that exact adjustment. And the light itself within its mount has like 10 or 15 forward and backward locations that it can be set to. So there's no way to make a custom holster from a $70 mold for a guy that may have his shifted forward 2 notches. For example, other than to have the customer send us a photograph of the accessory on their gun, and to, when their order comes up, to ship us their accessory, we put it on our mold gun, we block it up, we put it on our mold gun exactly where the customer carries it, where you carry it, and block it up, we make the holster, and then we take the accessory off the mold gun after we form, fit, and function test everything, and everything checks out. And we put the accessory in the box with their new holster, and we ship it all right to them. So we've got the accessory for, you know, a week, give or take, sometimes less, sometimes a little more, depending on the severity of the project and how quickly they mail it to us. We'll typically email you about a week out from the time where your order is up at the top of the queue. That way you've got a little time to respond. You're not losing any more time than you would have normally had we had your accessory in-house already, and you're able to keep your accessory on your gun longer. So you ship it to us, we make your rig, we ship it right back to you. That has been the best solution for everybody. It's greatly decreased our return, rework, and reship process that was honestly quite frustrating, especially with all the time and TLC and craftsmanship that we put into these rigs, and sometimes you got to remake the whole darn thing because the accessory was shifted way further forward, and it just grenades the whole hybrid shell. So we got to reblock the whole thing instead of just minor adjustments. So it helps us help you. like that. That came from that movie with Tom Cruise. I don't know what it is. One of you comment that in the comments, please. Where he's an agent for the sports player guy. Ah, shoot, I'm drawing a blank. But anyways, that's why we ask you to ship us your accessory about a week out from the time your order is up, just so that we can hit the mark the first time. Because to be honest, the reason why custom holsters are rare and expensive is because they're expensive to make. We can make anywhere from 3 to 8 of our normal holsters in the time that it takes to make one custom rig, sometimes, depending on the severity of the rig. So that's quite a hurdle, if you will, from a business standpoint. And we're trying to make it as economical for you as we can, while we also, and the reason why we do it is because it helps us advance our technology. We're on generation 11, partially because of the things that we've learned from doing things like this, doing custom applications. It helps us learn more as a company. We get feedback from you guys, which is awesome, and user feedback from the direct customer, the direct end customer, and from our T&E crew. I mean, we've got probably close to 30 guys around the country that test and evaluate gear for us, and email nice bulleted lists of, here's our findings, here's our suggestions, thank you for the opportunity, blah, 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 and then we tweak it, send them another one. And then so that way, by the time it gets to you, the end customer, lots of TLC and T&E has gone into it, test and evaluation has gone into it beforehand, because we want you, the end customer, to have the absolute best rig we can make. So, guys, I hope you understand, for those of you that are like, I don't want to take my light off and ship it to you. Well, that's what we require. So if you want us to make that custom rig for you, please take your light off, ship it to us. We'll put it on our mold gun, make it to exactly match your gun, and we'll ship it right back to you. Promise. So, guys, stay safe out there. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time.